Ginny, not on the quilt. Turn my sound down. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast at the Chandlers. I hope you're really well, and we're going to have a little bit of fun today with doing the next part of our Midnight Melba quilt, and then I'm going to talk to you about Melba Magic as well that's behind me. But before we get started, shall we do the usual thing and see who's with us this morning? Good morning, Jane and Nancy and Louise, always my first girls into class on a Sunday morning. If you were here, I would give you an elephant stamp with Jenny Peace. And oh, good morning to Ginny and Rob as well from Nancy Rob. Oh, you're on. Good morning, Karen. I hope you're well. And it's just, if you're not in Victoria, we are a little euphoric at the moment because just like a switch, as is Victoria, the season has changed. And so we've gone into autumn overnight, and it's got that feel in the air as the sun changes position, and then that will all be completed next weekend when we come off daylight saving, of course. Good morning, Rosemary. Hope you're well. Hello, Donna. I'm glad to see that you're here too. So we were Energizer bunnies yesterday in the garden because it stayed nice all day. We had a gorgeous day. Mum and Dad came down. Lots was achieved, but more to do today. Bree is in this morning. She is, where do I start? So one of our lovely junior teams in this morning. She's going to be packing off all a whole heap of our beautiful Melba purse frames, or not Melba, I've got Melba in the brain, metal purse frames, getting some gorgeous new pre-cuts ready, sewing some of the table runners for our creative escape. She's got a whole heap of stuff on as well. Liz, good morning. Hello, Shirley. Good morning, Yvonne. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, morning, Linda. Oh, you're all coming online at the moment. So, before I've got one more step from what we did last time for Midnight Melba. So I'm going to do that with you, and then we're going to fussy cut the next step out, which is our pink triangles. I'll show you the pattern in a minute. But on top of that, I have pulled out one of my fave things, which I suppose I would call a throw or a bed topper. So if you've got a doona, like we do, and perhaps you don't want to have a whole quilt over your bed, you can have your beautiful bed runner and you can have your cushions. But the other thing that you can have is a bed topper, and that's what I like to call this piece that I did. So this was done, of course Melba is coming up to 10 years old, and this was done not far off that long ago. I did this as I suppose a little bit of an exhibition piece, but when we launched Melba, I did a Melba tour, if you like, starting at the Sydney Craft and Quilt Fair with Hobby Sew, so the chain of stores in New South Wales, and this was on display there. And then I taught, I think, at 5 or 6 different Hobby Sew, I don't remember. I know I did one a day for about 5-6 days from up north of Sydney down to Wollongong. It was full on. But I did that then, and then later on I took this concept and I turned it into Melba Magic. Now, Melba Magic, you know the story, it's in Spain, and at the moment it's at the Sitges Quilt Show. We gotta go, Rob, I'm sorry. We thought we'd fix the Spain bucket list
5 years ago.
But we haven't. I know, 5 years ago, and you all know the story. We got there and turned around and came home because it was 2020. Anyway, Maria has got the quilt. She loves the quilt. I don't think I'll ever dare ask her for it back. And it's too hard to get out of Spain. But, oh, unless I went and picked it up. Anyway, this is what we took this and turned it into. I'm going to show you. And I'm going to be doing this a lot today because Rob has very kindly moved my gear back across to the original side, which is fantastic. Anyway, so it's just going to take me a while to get used to it. So this is Melba Magic. Can you see that there? So instead of the one on the wall, we did the fussy cut kaleidoscope pentagons, and then I alternated them with plain blocks with little star, EPP stars in them. But it is essentially the same quilt, and then we mounted it onto a large background. So either way, it works really well. I don't know which one was more work. I think this was probably more work than the one on the wall. I can't really remember. Anyway, the big story is this. Rob, are you sure I'm not dark? Am I all right on the screen? I'm okay? Okay. Yeah. I feel like I'm in the dark. This is one of today's giveaways. So I put in the notes for the show. We're doing this as a free giveaway today. If you buy anything that requires us to post you something, anything from a thread through to whatever, you're going to get one of these patterns. That is it. There's non-conditional, except for I've got to be sending you something. And this deal runs through until Wednesday night, because we've got another show Wednesday night. Wednesday night, this closes off. And so if the show's at 8 o'clock, at 7:59, this deal expires. So just order something and Robert will be more than happy to print one of these for you. You're going to want to know how much fabric as well is on this today. The one that's on the pattern, it's a whopping 5 meters, but the fabric's on special. It's under Magic. Look up Magic in the search window. 5 meters to do this, but I'm going to say 5 meters of this and 5 meters of the cream one. I'll show you the fabrics later. If you want to do this quilt, because it's pentagonal, so you need 5 repeats. So if I just said that wrong, I have 5 repeats. So you'd need 3 meters of the ivory, and you do 5 of this to get you to this quilt. Otherwise, 3 and 3 and you're home and hosed. We'll get to that in a bit, but I just want you to know that is your freebie giveaway. And oh, you're all here now. I just looked up my phone. There's another giveaway today if you spend $25 or more, but I'll show you that one in a minute. In a mini moo. We all know it doesn't take long to get 25, and that's before the postage, you cheeky things. Before you ask, oh, what did I miss? Good morning, Carol. Christine Davey, good morning to you. I can see many Creative Escape attendees here as well. I'm down to, it's a weird number, it's something like 3. I spoke to Margaret yesterday, if you want to come, or it's like 4, if you want to come, but there's weird single spots left on tables, don't worry about it. Just book 4 anywhere and email me and we will put you together. Because when we get down to this last bit, people go, I can't come because there's not enough on one table. Just book it and email us, and Margaret and I do that whole lovely wedding planner thing the week before. Mary, good morning. How are you? Oh my goodness. It was last week. You were just here and you're already home in Virginia. I hope you had a great trip home, and I was so thrilled. I've told everybody. Have I not, Robert? I've told everybody Mary was here. So thank you very much for visiting us from Virginia as well. It was lovely to meet you. Tracy, good morning. Kay, good morning. Oh, you're all gorgeous. Who have I missed? Fiona's in the building. Gay's in the building. Deanna's in the building from Costa Rica. Good morning, Bernadette. Say hi to Wayne for me. Good morning, Bridget. Say hi to Andrew for me. Yvonne Collinson. Oh, this is a lovely group this morning. Good morning, Del. Oh, you're all gorgeous. Judy, hi. Okay, shall we get started? Diane's here this morning. Coming down your way next week with Margaret. We're on a bit of a trek. Rob doesn't know that yet. Sue Hubbard, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Rose Francis. I am looking for 2 people. Rosemary Hall, we need to speak today. And Robert, it's Janet, isn't it? Can you turn around for me? The orders on the table, that lovely big pile. That's their set as well. Yeah. He actually just went straight over the pile. He went from one side. No, the ones with the orders on them, right there. Yeah. You went from one pile over the orders I want. Just tell me the name on the second page. It's Janet, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. Janet Holland. Janet Holland, you are the last Midnight Melba order that I have leaving here tomorrow morning. You're the last one out. And then Susie and I have done a reckoner then on how many more kits we can do, and they are up on the website now. Yes, Pauline, it is early up there, but we'll be back to normal next week. Good morning, Floria. Robert, do you have anything to say to Floria this morning? about what you did again last night? No? Okay, fine.
I like ruby grapefruit.
You're still doing the ruby grapefruit combo, Flora. Joyce says, good morning from Young, New South Wales. Oh, robinettes. I love robinettes. Fabric salon. It's just gorgeous. So has anyone else been to robinettes in Young? It's the most fantastic shop in the most gorgeous old building. Chris, sorry. Bit chilly at the present. Yes, it so is. Yes, Chris, you're in late. If you order anything today, you get it for free. Haha. There you go. Shall we get started? Yes, you do, Flo. You need to come and see me. She's coming to check out your grapefruit tree, Robert. Look out.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started, shall we, this morning? As I said, there was a couple of things I wanted to show you, and I've got one more little inner border strip to put onto Midnight Melba. So if you didn't watch last week's show, please scroll back down through Facebook, have a look. Otherwise, it is now on our YouTube channel, which you can find under Leesa Chandler or Chandler's Cottage. And I have put it under the live shows, but I've also created a little separate topic on the playlist on the YouTube channel just for Midnight Melba. So if you are working on the quilt, you don't have to go through all my live shows. Not that I've been very diligent putting them up, but I am now. And you will find there's one just with all the Midnight Melba content ones in there. So this is where I'm up to. Well, it's a bit shiny, isn't it? Look at that. So we're just finishing off this middle bit, and I'm just finishing adding my little borders in, and we're going to fussy cut these pink triangle ones today. Well, at least the first couple. Good morning, Rosemary. It's just these first 4 here. So I'm going to do that for you today, and then we can all go off and add the next inner border, okay, around it. So we'll do that today, and then we'll also talk about fussy cutting this free giveaway pattern for you today, which is not even up on the website. And I don't know, I had that moment, I went, we've got to get it out. I've been thinking about it for ages. Down here, can you see? There's the list. We're going to talk about what's happening next later. All right, overhead. So this is what we were working on last time. So if I flip it over, you can see this is where I'm at. I've just got this last one here to go on. And as we talked about last time, those essential little steps are so important to give you the immense satisfaction of getting all of your design to match up on the seams. Okay, so now I've created this secondary pattern, which we all love when we fussy cut for kaleidoscope style things. So that's all together there. Now, I've got this one left here to do, which I'm going to do with you, and I'm going to talk about the shoddy seam, and I have no other word for it on the other side. So if I open that up and show you, I'm not sure that you can see it, but there is a very wonky, fat seam down here. And for the love of money, I couldn't work out what was going wrong with my machine. It just, even with my dual feed on with my wide feed dogs, if you remember last week, I switched over to my open toe foot, my number 20 foot, which is now very neatly hanging on a peg down here because I've got jack of all the stuff on my table. So this is my open toe. So if you're a Benina girl, it's too far back for me to remember my Janome number. But this is my number 20. So lovely and open, love it for doing zigzag, couching, a whole heap of different things, embroidery. I can see where I'm going, decorative stitches, fantastic for all of that. But with the quarter, and I've been using that for my 1/4 inch seam because I'm using my quilter's tape, but it just wasn't gripping enough for me. And as I was sorting out the bench, guess what I found? A number 1 foot. Is that not the foot that we were all had on the machines when it was demoed to us and told how fabulous it was? And it was. So it was just about putting my number 1 foot back on that's got a lot more metal and holds the fabric in place better, and it's got a beautiful line. I'll show you down through the middle. So I suppose the lesson is never forget. Just don't forget, because I don't think I have had a number 1 foot on this machine for decades. I don't, no, that's just an exaggeration. When did I get the machine? You know, when I last had number 1 foot on, when I was demonstrating the machines in Braeside in our little showroom. So we're going back 5-6 years. But never forget, it is your universal foot. Let's see how this camera goes. Oh, look at that. So we'll pop this on. And so I need to go back and do that other seam again. I'll just go back and tidy it up. But I just wasn't getting enough grip because I loved the idea of using a foot different to my 1/4 inch because we're using our quilter's tape, or I am at least, to hold everything in place. But the other thing too, just on top of all of that, let me get these pins. We've got a super now, you know, we've gone from a very vulnerable seam cut on the bias to now having a super sturdy seam. That camera's probably a little too zoomed in. Let's take that out a bit. And so now it's super straight and strong, but we've got a thin piece on the back, so it's a little bit more vulnerable now because it's got a bit of give because it's nice and thin. So we've just got to keep all that in mind. So it's a really good idea to have the most vulnerable seam always on the bottom because your feed dogs are going to pull it through a lot better. So we'll just go through here. And take my pins out as I go this morning, I think, because I've got the flat foot on. Well, let's try it. I'll take one for the team. Oh, look at that, straight over the pin. Under today's search word, I did put a lot of things from last week's back in there. So a lot of things that were under the search word Emma, I've moved across to today because they're still very much relevant to today. I've also put the kaleidoscope print from Melba over there, still on special, and Susie and I updated all the stock. So now when you see it's out of stock, that means it's out of stock for all time. If I was honest, I may have added a couple more meters to my personal stash, but you're going to have to cope with that, folks, because I need a couple of little bits for some of our exhibition samples that I'm making, so I needed to make sure I had enough for those. Okay, so that's that seam done. Pull these out, and oh, before I rip this off, this tape off, one of these fun little things is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a little tip of one of the little buds is just sitting over the seam. And I noted it on the other one, so when I came to do them, I made sure when I put my tape on, it was sitting in the right spot just to get a little bit of one of those buds. And that way I knew my seams would all be exactly the same. It's a bit of a game changer. So we'll rip that off. And we can just give it a little press. Over here. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Robin's here. Denise is in the building. Pam's here. Thanks, Pam. Good morning, Janice. Pamela Joyce is here. Today I am wearing, we used to do this all the time, didn't we? You can tell I haven't been op shopping for a while, hence I'm going down near Diane's. I'm wearing a Kmart turtleneck top with a scarf my Thai masseuse brought back from Thailand. Pinky bought me this. Oh, how nice is that? And I would not usually buy pink, so I was pretty happy to have it in my wardrobe this morning. There we go. So that's that one done. So if I turn this over now, you can see this is wonky here. See how that goes down? So even when I press it, You can see it's not right. So I will go back and unpick that seam and fix that up. You can see that there. It's all a little bit off, askew and wide down here. So before I put my pink triangles on that side, there'll be just a little bit of reverse sewing. Do you like my prop this morning? Look at it. It's right there. Came in, sat on the ironing wool mat, so I had to go and get the other one. I have 2 here now for moments like. She's just in one of those moods. She's just gonna sit there and we'll work around her. If you haven't watched last week, you will see there is a reason for having a square of template plastic with lines through it. I'm going to keep that because I have a feeling I'm going to be able to use that for lots and lots of different things. So I'm going to keep it. Even if I cut it down, kind of for a pentagon, no, but I'm going to keep that. I just feel it's going to be really handy no matter what size square I'm doing. I'll pop that in there. Right, I'll pop this up on the machine. Now, we're going to cut these pink triangles. So if you've got a kit and you are just running pink fans for the triangles in the middle and then the outer border, which was our second round of kits available, then if that is the case, you'll have 2 pieces of pink in your kit. You'll have the larger piece to do where the teal was outside, and you'll have a 1/2 meter piece or whatever you're using. I am busting to now make this quilt with other fabrics. I just want to see how versatile it is. But maybe I should make this one first. Yes, just to get it done for our bedroom and for the exhibition. I think so. So we're going to cut this down into two 10-inch. These morning shows 2 10-inch strips through here. This is just you can see my hands, just a little bit wasteful. However, Emma Bowman wouldn't make us do it unless it was really important to avoid any issues. So I'm going to pay that and we're going to put the rest of it in our stash. Now, Em wants us to take this and give it a good press out flat and get rid of this center fold seam in here. So I haven't got my little water spray bottle, but if you do, just give it all a nice press. Susie will have packed it nice and snug in your kit, or maybe not. Those that have got their kits will now know their kits are coming in a lovely big black box. You can keep all your bits in your box while you make your quilt. Mine's not, but I'm sure yours is. Okay, so now grab our instructions. Now we're going to cut them down into pieces that are 6 3/4. Bit much for early Sunday morning. They're 6 3/4 inches wide, but the most important thing is that at the top of that, we need to be 1 inch up from what will be the top fan. So I'll show you what we mean. And all that is, it's just about getting you a spot to start working from so all of your triangles come up the same. So, Jean, I want to move my board up a bit. Put this one aside. So we're going to lay this piece out, and we'll do this measurement that Em wants us to do first. Now, you are probably, or percentage-wise, a lot of you are right-handed, so I'm going to show this to you right-handed, and then I'm going to switch around for me to being a lefty. So, see this fan here? I want the top of that fan to be 1 inch down from the edge of this strip that we are cutting. So if I go through this, and this is where it gets really, oh, now we know why she's doing that to us. I haven't gone through and straightened, I haven't pressed this back into any particular shape, and I must have cut that wonky, but you can see how far off I am now. There's quite a wedge here, so I'm making sure that I have the same row of fans all 1 inch down from the top of the strip. So for the lefties now, I need to turn this round and go the other way. And this edge here, I'm going to go down to probably that row there. So there's a row of fans there, and I'll see if I can get that through. I mightn't even get all the way through. I'm going to go down another one. Go down to this one. So there's one. So if I go to the next lot down, which is there, and go up, so I've got a top of a fan there, one there, one there, one there. So that gets me pretty much in a line that way. So I'm going, and you can see this is why she's done this for us, and I've still got plenty here. This is a 4.5 inch ruler. I've got plenty here to come across and get my 6 3/4. I'm just going to do this bit here for now and show you how this is cut to get one of the triangles, and then you can take it away. This is going to take you a little bit of time. You know what, if you love a Frixion pen, I would suggest going to the line of fans, because I know some of us with our eyesight, we're just not that great, particularly if you're doing this late at night, particularly if you have a, I bought all my Frixions at the same time in bulk, and I think they're all dying at the same time. You're getting a nice little vibration massage there, Jim. So you can draw a line on the top of the fans that you're aiming for. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to line up your ruler an inch above that. Again, you've got great little pictures, diagrams. You can probably see them better than what I'm doing now in your pattern. And this method, you can apply this to anything, any border you're working with. In fact, probably some of Jason's lovely big 10-inch ones, this will apply to. Okay, so now I can turn this way and start one of my fans. So, oh no I can't, I've got to cut the other side down, my bad. I've got to cut down that. I'm just hoping this is big enough to do one of them for you. Yes, it will be. I'm pretty sure. But give me a second. I just want to do a little bit more. Just okay, going. But this is why Em wants you to open it all out. That's why we're cutting the bigger strips first, just to go through this process. So we've got everything where it needs to be to go through. Now I'm going to line this up with my board like that, and I'm going to get my bigger ruler out, which is 6.5 to there, and then I'm going to edge it up 1/4, so I've got my 6 1/4. A lot of people run off their rulers, a lot of people run off their boards. I use both whenever I can without having to go to a wider ruler. That's just me, can't help myself. And I find that I will read off my ruler if the measurement is under the width of my ruler. Excuse me. Well, then I'll go to the board. The most important thing is to have a really good, super accurate board. That's the most important thing. And if you are running a metric board, then I would lovingly, strongly recommend you switch to an imperial board, and then it will cut down the amount of rulers you have to have every single day you do patchwork. Right. 6 3/4 cut down, and this is our top of our fan here, and we've got 1 inch above. So we have followed Emma's instructions. Phew, take a large ruler, on point, cut 4 triangles, got it. So now you're going to get to know your ruler a little bit better if you haven't before, and we need to find one of our 45-degree lines on it. So on mine, I have, maybe up close and personal, might be better. Who said good morning? Who said good morning? Someone said good morning. I don't know who I missed. Who did I miss? Someone said good morning. Good morning! I can't see who it is. I'm sure it's someone I may have said good morning to. Can you? Well, you can see ring lights. You can see white lines on my creative grids, and down here I've got a 45-degree angle, and here I have a 45-degree angle. Down this end I have a 60, which you can see, a 30-60 I should say, and another 45. So I've got them everywhere on the ruler, and I can use this as a lefty or a righty, whichever way around I want. So no, really, Jen, you're not in the way. Just don't even think about it. Just stay right there. Or just move this. Don't you move. I'll move everything else, okay? Right. So put this one aside. So what Em wants us to do is run one of these 45-degree lines on my ruler down through the center of one of the sets of fans. So one of these ones here that's 1 inch down from the top, and you can see what she's doing now. She wants this so that when we've seamed it all together, we get this full fan here at the top. What's been really interesting, writing up Em's pattern, and she had scrolled all the notes down for me, and I've come back and done it, is that I see what she tells me to do, but then I look at her quilt and hers isn't as good as what we're going to get out of her instructions. So in some instances, she's made hers and gone, well, that's not good enough. When the girls make it, I'm going to get them to do it like this. And that's, you might notice it, I'm not sure if you can pick up some of that as we go on the picture of her quilt. I'm going, but hers, she's made it better for us. Okay, so this is one line. Now, you can choose to do this. I prefer not to, because I'm all about safety and rotary cutting towards my fingers instead of away from my fingers. So I'm going to draw that line on there. So, and also it all lines up. So the other 45-degree line that comes across here lines up with the edge of your fabric, because literally if you do that, you've got a right angle. So this is perfect that way. Now we're going to turn it the other way, and what I can do is actually, you can see then we've got that way. So then you've just got to mess with your ruler until you get, and it's really hard for me because I'm lefty, but if I turn it around this way, I'm good to go again. So I can line up through the middle there. Hang on, what have I done? That's it there, that's it there. Okay, through the middle of that one. And then, what have I've done something weird, hang on. That goes down through there. I was talking too much, and I've actually managed to add oh, what a joke. I've managed to add a 1/4 inch seam allowance with my ruler. I didn't line it up to the point. Did you see me do that? So not funny. There we go. So now points come down here. We've got fans lined up right in the middle through here. How did I do that? Just give me a... I lined it up. Oh, that's naughty. I came across, and in the end I lined it up with the edge of the fabric. I'll have to put that on replay and just watch myself do that and cringe. Make sure that line is right through the middle, and it will touch the tip up here on your fabric. Okay, now we can cut this down. So you're going to do 4 of these. So you'll get at least 2, possibly 3 off one strip, and then, ready? You ready? You ready, Jen? You will get the other 1 or 2 off the other strip. I kind of like the fact you've got an ample amount of fabric, because I'm pretty sure if you fudge one, you'll be able to get another one out. There we go. So there's 1 done. Now, so important. What am I going to say now? So important. Please don't iron it. Please don't, because these are both on the bias and you'll push him out of shape. So now this is going to go on here. Don't panic. It will hang over the edge, just like when we do cut off triangles, star blocks, everything. This is your extra seam allowance out here. It is the right length. You do want that overlap. So now this is going to go onto here. You're going to find the center of this one, like that. Well, we all know where the center is, don't we? It's in the middle of that fan. That's obvious. So that's going to go there, and then we'll find the center here. Now, you've got the center of the strip you can find, but I would actually work with your seam that comes out here, because that's where you want it all to line up. That's going to make you feel warm and fuzzy and really happy if this all lines up here like that. Good morning, Barb. How are you? I've seen it's you now. Okay, so we'll line those up there. If you have been using quilter's tape and you go, oh, I really think that I want to use, why is that out? It is not in the middle. I'm going to move it across a little bit and revisit that later when you're not here. I just want that 1/4 inch out each end like that. He's not quite centered on that line, so I might go back and check it. It happens when I'm talking too much, okay? So I'll go back and check. There is a point as well all the way through with medallion quilts where you can always come through and square up. So when you've put all your triangles on, you can come back and check what the next sashing size is, and if there's room there, you can always come back and trim up. So you can do it all the way through if you need to. I'm going to put that on there like that. Just see, I'm having to pin to hold them all in place. So the alternative is I could put my piece of quilting tape down there. I have this desire at the moment to run over and look at how perfect Emma's is. There's just that little bit of girlfriend rivalry going, well, is hers really that perfect? I shall do that when you're not here. I'll go and have a look. Who's here? I can see Janet Steers here, Fiona's here. Good morning, Linnell. Good morning, Cheryl. All right, shall we put this one on and see how she looks? Oh, you know what it is? It's the weft and weave of the fabric. It's going to be fine. Okay. I'll get it. Move over here. Put this one on. And then it's all very clear what my homework is before next, well, Sunday, but Sunday next week is huge. Super huge. We'll have a chat about our next, I don't have my tape on, do I? I'm going to have to switch. Give me a second. I'm going to have to switch feet, folks, because there's no tape. Not that one. Put this one on. It's funny how you get used to something so quick, isn't it? And we all know what happens now with our Benina. It's going to be rude and go, you've switched feet. Okay. I feel like something's not good under there, but when you're live on Facebook, you sort of grit your teeth and go, just sew, just sort yourself out underneath and sew. And I think it has. I can really feel that those extra pins are super important. No. Oh, I'm laughing at myself because I should have stopped. What is going on? I can see what I've done. Excuse me, just talk amongst yourselves. I've been using wash away, getting ready for something else coming up, water soluble thread, and I found it worked better by popping it through the little loop that we use for winding our bobbins on the machine. However, not so much for my normal cotton. Let's hope this runs through okay. Let's see how we go. There we go. I'm not even going to show you the other side of this when I take it out of the machine. Do you know what? I think in the instructions, or in the destructions, as Em would say at this moment, I think it actually tells you to give a really good iron into shape before you cut them. It's not that, actually, it's not that bad on the back. And I may have skipped that step, so my bad. Ginny, stop purring. Stop purring. It's not a purring moment. Okay, so I'll just see if I'd given that, if I'd done what the boss had said. I'm going to do it now, just a little, there we go. It'll all come out in the wash when we square up at the next round. Sounds like a football analogy, and then we'll give this a press, like that, just gently. I'm not going to press those edges though, And there's our first one on. So what will happen here is we keep going, and I'll do the other three sides, and then add the next inner border on, which for me is the apple green again. So you can see, get an idea of these color combinations now that we've switched to with the ivory compared to the black one. This is like a really, in a way, it's more 1920s with this lovely mint green in here. It's going to just give it a little pop as we go around, and I'm, yeah, pretty happy with that. So I just want to keep going now. So hopefully I'll get to it in the next few days. And just on the matter of that, because I'm here, we're back to Wednesday nights this week, so we'll be back into bags using our free download patterns. But on top of that, I've had a couple of requests, actually interesting, 2 requests this week about the pocket on the traveller bag, and about how to do the zip thing again, which is fine, but also how to cut down the pocket and how it all goes together when you lay one over the top. So I actually have a couple of kits ready to go, waiting on me to make the samples, which have been there for a little while now. So this is a great excuse for me to bring those back out, and I'll show them to you, and I'll also get into and use them to demonstrate how to do that front pocket on there. So we're going to do that Wednesday night, and we'll get back to that lovely the black and white and yellow one that I was originally making. I'm going to come back and work on that one again with you. And then we'll see what else we can get done that night. It goes so fast Wednesday nights when we actually do the sewing in real time for that. So we'll see where we go with that. And then, I'm going to tell you now. It's better I tell you now. And then next Sunday, we'll be launching Daydreams. So as you know, the way that it works here, we look after the lovely Jason, as well as having Chandler's Cottage. So the Textile Pantry is our wholesale business, and wholesale meaning that we manufacture. It's actually called converting. We convert fabric that I design, and now we're actually a distributor and we look after in the beginning fabrics. So we get so excited this week because just on Friday our first delivery arrived of Daydream. So our first delivery from Jason from the mill in Asia, it has arrived. So we've got it all on the shelf, and we start all of our wholesale orders this week and shipping them out to shops around Australia. So with your local shop, if you are talking to them, you can find out if they've ordered Daydreams or anything else from in the beginning, and you now know it's going to be coming from here. So we'll be sending it out, and if they haven't and you'd like some, and you'd like to support your local shop, then please encourage them to give me a buzz, and I will look after them for you in my other hat. I'll give you a sneak peek. So we're not launching these until 8 a.m. next Sunday morning. Now the reason for that is that I need all of my shops. I need to be sure they all know their stock is here and available as well before I show it to you. It's a little bit of a thing. That's really important that we prioritize them, but I'm going to show them to you so you know what's coming up on Sunday. And you can have a little bit of a think, because I think when we're talking about Midnight Melba, you'll look at these and go, maybe we can change the quilt quite easily over to other fabrics. So let's move the coffee. We'll move this for now. I'm going to need that ironing board again, so I'm just going to pop my piece down there and put this over here. Are you right there, Jim? I just can't believe she's decided to sleep for the entire show on the desk. Just cracks me up. In a cute way, but if I was to move her now, I would cop it around the ankles. Oh, was she, Sharon? Well, it's not the last. It's the last Tash has got. It's not the last that we've got. Goodness. Anyway, it's all good. Now, I've got to speak to Tash this week. There's some other stuff we need to talk about. So this is Daydreams, and it's not really working, is it, for you to see them on the table? I'm actually, give me a minute. We might try something else here. I'm going to put another hook up on the wall, like that. Then I can show them to you. So I'm going to hook, bear with me. This is practice because I have to do this for the shops as well. Okay, I'm going to hang that up there, and then I'm going to stand on this side. Excuse me. How's that? Oh, that's a little better. So this, I'm really, the first one he throws at me, I just fall in love with, which is just not fair. So this is Jason's border prints. So you remember when he does his border prints, you get 4 10-inch strips across the bolt. So that's just 2 of them to show you. Remember we made our lovely little Easter baskets, now called a spring basket, with the oval base for the calendar last year. So same layout as the little hedgehogs and foxes and things. Beautiful. So I can see this fussy cut down into Midnight Melba. Instead of having 3 different sized borders, all we would use is the same ones right through, and we would just cut them to different sizes depending on which bit we were using. Yum. Okay, and then we've got this beautiful thing which reminds me big time of Melba kaleidoscope tile print, and therefore a lot of the patterns that we use with Melba we'll be able to use with this as well. If we've used that print, that's codes 0002. We have been through and seen exactly what we've got left after we put it on special last week for you, and they're tagged under the word Melba Magic again today for you. So as I said, what's there now? When it's gone, it's gone. I just want to wear this as a shirt. I just want that in a shirt. And then we've got all these other beautiful little prints. There's hummingbirds. There's a gorgeous background, little paisleys, leaves. Yum. All right, so that's one colorway, and this is the other one. So this is what we're going to be doing next week, and I just wanted to show you now. I've got some things lined up, but I wanted to show you now so you could have a little think. If you've got any of Jason's fabrics from last year that we had, and then we had in the sale around Christmas, in those blue periwinkle hues, they all go with this. I've been through and auditioned them with any little bits that I've got left over. Then we've got a couple of little Stash Essential packs. So that's next week. So you've got your preview. That is your preview for next week. And then the following Wednesday, so Wednesday week, it'll be, Margaret will be here, and we're going to be talking and showing you our Creative Escape project. So a little bit of a reveal for those that are coming, and if we've got a couple of spots left, then you can use that to make up your mind. And then we're also going to be talking about all of Marg's beautiful Delftware stitcheries that we now have here in the shop, and she's got a couple of gorgeous new things as well. So that will be Wednesday week. So we've got a whole heap of stuff. The other thing, before we get on to this quilt that we're doing as our giveaway, Quilters Life members, I love having my buttons back here. Quilters Life members, this week we're going to be working on finishing off our Christmas project. We are going to be finishing adding the left hand side onto our geisha, our Madame Butterfly geisha quilt, and then putting the top border on. And most importantly, if you're in a Quilters Life, or you've joined recently, or you're joining, are you doing anything Easter Monday? I know, and it's a trick question, because if you're not, and this is for Quilters Life members only, you get to come with a +1 like we did last year. And you know, it's almost a year to the day since we had our first open day with you here. You get to come and have lunch with Priscilla Bianchi from Guatemala, Textile Extraordinaire. So Quilters Life members, check what you've got on with the family, or come home a day early from holidays. I'll be putting that information up for you tomorrow, and you'll need to book, obviously. If you can't get here and you're on the other side of the world, we'll be filming a lot of stuff and doing a separate little interview for you to put on a Quilters Life with Priscilla. Otherwise, you need to get down here in person. So watch for that. I'm popping in the general section this week, hopefully tomorrow for you. So you get to come as part of your membership with a friend or a hubby or whatever you like for a little luncheon and get to meet Priscilla. What a great way to spend Easter Monday. Here, I get all of Easter with Priscilla, but you can have the Monday and I'll bake. How's that? They're good? Right, so be sure to check that out. And if you were thinking of joining, $10 a month. You don't have to stay in forever. You can come and go as you like, $10 a month. Now's the time to do it because you get Priscilla. Now, Priscilla is here for the Australasian Quilt Convention. And so she'll be teaching there. Some of you may be going to her classes. But here you get to get close and personal with her and just have some fun. So that'll be really good. Right, the giveaway. Well, this is giveaway number 1. If you order anything, you get the pattern for the whole shebang, or you can do it this way. So the difference between the two, this one here, I have done the darker colour, if you like. So it was originally the black. Now we're doing it in the grey on this one. Well, originally, anyway, you know what I mean. This one's black, this one's grey. If you want to do the whole thing like it is in the pattern, you would need 5 meters of this, because you do this great big border that goes around and you fussy cut. If you would like to just do this as a bed topper, it's a pentagon, so 5 pieces, so 5 repeats, so 3 meters. And then grab yourself, please, 3 meters of the ivory, and then I know you've got enough to do it. Now, the other 2 fabrics that I have used, I've used the ivory little floral around the edge. Again, we double checked. You probably want to grab a meter because it's on the bias and stuff, I would grab a metre because there's hardly any left. So that stock's all good to go. We're literally cutting it to the wire with our kits, so 1/2 metre. But you could do anything around the edge. Now with this one, I mean, this was way back at the start, so we didn't have teal fans, we didn't have pink fans to fussy cut to put in, and even on the one that's on the pattern, I'm pretty sure that's a Robert Kaufman Fusions. And then when we were halfway through making this, the fans arrived, and then we put the orange fans into the pattern. However, this here just needs to be a lovely tonal coordinate. When I did it, as I said, there really wasn't anything out there that we thought was appropriate. This was the closest I could get, which was a Michael Miller Fairy Frost. You might have one in your stash you could use. You might be happy to run with a pink you've already bought, maybe some Shadow Play Toscana that goes really well with Melba, whatever you want to do. But what I wanted to tell you was, where'd I put it? Here it is. That little shimmer that we've got on special is absolutely perfect. I'll hold it up for you. It's softer, and that's what I wish I'd had at the time. Can you see that? It's just softer. I'll lay them down on the table for you. You know that this shimmer goes. I know I don't need to convince you. You know that goes beautifully in with that, and the ivory one, like that. And it's just, where it sits is really interesting, because it's like the Shadow Play that we are using in Midnight Melba. And this, it's really funny, this didn't quite work with Midnight Melba. It went too blue to go with the pink, whereas the Shadow Play was great. The other thing about this, we knew that we didn't have enough, because you actually need a fair bit, 1.5 meters, because this is discontinued. So we sort of thought, no, we'll go with something we know we can get more of, which we have. So this is just lovely, and because it's got that little speckle of gold through it, it's just perfect to go in with it. So if you were kind of inclined to want to do something like I've got on the wall, I don't know why I'm doing this when I can just put the glasses on. Small inner border green. 1 meter, just 1 meter. Actually, not even that, 1/2 meter. 1/2 meter's ample, because that meter, well, it's up to you. It's on special and it's discontinued. I'm just going to throw that out there. I wouldn't hesitate to buy 1 meter myself at that price, because that is enough. Okay, if you bought 1 meter, you've got enough to do these, and you're out of border, out of binding on the bias if you want to. So 1 meter, otherwise 1/2 meter for the others. What's 1 meter amongst friends? No, I'm not remaking. No, I'm not remaking it. I'm not. We will just take this one to the exhibition. So the Farewell Melba exhibition, I will hopefully have it on a bed on display. That's the plan. A whole bed display will be happening. Put that up there. Where'd I get that from? Over here. All right. So this pattern's got, if you like, a wedge, and it's all set up with a 72-degree angle, because Mrs. Devine, Year 9 maths teacher, because 360 divided by 5 is 72. So what Mrs. D taught us was you take the 36 and times it by 2, because there are 2 5s in 10, and that gives you your degrees. How's that? That's it. You can do that with any number. If it was 390 degrees in a circle, it would be 78. It's a really good trick to use when you're working out percentages in a supermarket, or when clothing's on sale. It's very handy to use. Right, so that is the pentagon shape. So that gives you an idea of how big it is. And then over here we have two things. We have our wedge and we also have the diamonds. Now, the diamond is actually made up of two triangles, and that while that may seem a little bit tedious, particularly if you're piecing by machine, really important to have this broken up. And what it does is it helps you create the rings as you go by, you ready? That way. You actually can piece it that way as well. The thing about it is, because everything is cut on the bias and everything has, you know, one of those angles like we talked about with this piecing. Oh, that's the other thing we've got to do Wednesday nights is come back and finish my cushions. Like with this, you always stop on the seam line. Don't sew all the way out to the edge, and then you can easily come in and do all of these angled piecing by machine if you want instead of by hand. And so having these split up into two triangles just makes that whole process so much easier to work with. If I draw a line for you here, if I do that, that could actually be, when you're piecing, one continuous seam. This can be one continuous seam. So it just helps you get through the process of piecing a lot quicker if you want to by splitting it down. Anyway, when you get your pattern, when you get your freebie pattern, you're going to love it because it'll show you how it's done. You've even got a full picture. Oh, that'd help. You've got a full picture inside as well, so depending on what colouring you're doing, you can come through and colour over the top of it to help you find your way if you find that's helpful. I mean, you could just do it. You look at all the diagrams. Holy schmoly. You could, if you wanted to, literally do it as a scrappy Liberty quilt. Or I could do it with all those beautiful new little prints of Jason's. No, I'm not. No. Oh, no. Oh, wouldn't all those little prints look really good in all of these with the plain and the background and then that big 10-inch border around the outside? You could do it scrappy. You could do it in anything that you wanted to. So I'm going to leave that up. Leave it up to you, right? I'm going to show you how this works. We need one of these. This is a lot like we did to start Midnight Melba. You can see me cheating. I'm trying to line up the edge of the wedge with a corner on the template plastic. You know how when you buy kids a toy or a pet a toy and they're more excited about the box that it came in? That was me. That was me this week. We got a whole heap of new stuff in, and it came in these fantastic boxes, and I was so excited about the boxes because, and some of you will get them, they were perfect to put a fabric order in with 3 sheets of template plastic. So I got really excited about the boxes. All right, now you're going to need 2. You will need 2, or you're going to want to be drawing inside this template. I'm cutting this seam line. You must have your seam line on to get it to work. Or, of course, you can use your quilter's tape to do it, and then all of these edges, which are pretty much all going to be cut on the bias, will stay nice and stable for you. So we'll cut this out. And the joy of working with the Melba, we always called it a project panel because I always thought it would get cut down and used. I mean, it goes into Southern Jewels 2, big panel quilts like that. But I always had hoped it would get used to cut down into smaller projects. I suppose, I'm reminiscing now on you, aren't I? Sorry. I suppose things like this, I thought they would go into, but I did think a lot of the time it would get cut down to size. Okay, so that's this guy. The other way round to think about this if you had a whole heap of tonal prints, scraps left over, so if you had a whole collection of what you'd use with Melba in pinks or anything else, the oranges or whatever from Melba, you could actually have these as plain, perhaps a Suffolk puff over the top or a little bit of English paper piecing in the middle. We've got pentagons, of course, in EPP, so you could do a pentagon flower over here instead of the star that's in the pattern. That'd be really nice. And then you could fussy cut these. So you might have little bits left over from like the Melba tile print, where you've just got a little Sturt Desert Pea, and you could run one in each direction in those triangles as well. So you could flip it and have your fussy cutting out here, plain here, fussy cut pentagon flowers or stars here, so you can switch it around. In the pattern, of course, you've got the whole pentagon shape, which is the same as what you get when you piece 5 of these together. So you can switch between, these could be plain with piecing over the top, these could be like, so you've got everything you need to either have them pieced or plain, that's what I'm trying to say. I could start messing with these, but you already know how it comes up, so we probably don't need to do that. I'm going to show you another one. You can see here I've used the fans and I've got them facing inwards. The Waratahs were an absolute joy, and they gave you a really strong block. So when you have done all of your fussy cutting, I've got a couple of Waratahs in mine just in slightly different spots. Once you've got all of your blocks made, you'll find that some have more predominant motifs on them or patterns that have been created, and you'll be able to balance them out between each other. So I've got Sturt Pea, some of the fans here, there's Christmas bells or corriers up here, so you'll find you get a little bit of a pattern going on. With mine, you can see that strong pinks, soft pinks, strong pinks, soft pinks, so I've sort of balanced them out a bit. I'm going to show you a different one though. This is another one. So if I was to make this quilt again, this is where I fess up. And if you've had a look at everything under Magic today, you'll know what I'm doing. Do you know what? There's one more fabric. There's one more fabric I'm going to put on special for you right now that goes with this. Morning, Jill. Yes, Janice, you could use, sorry, let me face you. Yes, you could use, absolutely. You could use your Melba stripe. If you've got the stripe, use it. There's none online at the moment, just because we're going through another round of kits, and Susie and I need to be sure that everyone that wants a Midnight Melba quilt kit gets one. So there's none online. But if you've got it, go for it. And in fact, if you've got some project panel and you've got some of the border stripe, you can use both together because they're all the same colors, so you could use both. And you've just got to look at what you've got. You need 5 repeats, and with the border stripe it mirrors, so you get two of the same every repeat. So yes, use anything, absolutely. You can use the tile print if you want to. Everything's going to come up looking a little different, but the colors all do work together. Just while you're looking at this, I need to put on sale for you, or on a little bit of a better price, just to tick. I'm doing it. You see what I'm doing? I'm doing it on my phone. So you search products and we go, no, 0005. I want to put this one. How much does it say? Oh, okay. I'm going to take another bolt out of wholesale. I'm going to up how much we've got, and we are going to put that down from 13 to 9 and save. So I've just popped on special for you the green Melba fans. Now, if you have in your stash black and orange Melba and cream and orange Melba, you can use the fans with that. But we'll also go with this, and this comes from this. So also on today, you've got Summer Palace fans under the word magic. So I have come through with this. So this is going to give you a completely different look, completely different. I have come through and cut my template here over the top of there. And so I want to do this one, and I want to come through and cut my peonies. So I've got my peony with my the bud up through here, because in the background, while Melba is getting the big hoo-ha, my beloved Summer Palace is nearly gone as well. So I want to come through, do the magnolia, cut down the bowl from here, grab the cherry blossoms over here. So same deal, I would need 5 repeats to be able to do it. But with this one as well, we get a staggered repeat. I've got dragonflies to play with, so I can literally have dragonfly wings flying round the pentagon. So I want to use this one. And the great thing about the fans is this is where people whinge at us and they say, you cut it all up and you put it back together. Absolutely. I can use my background. There's enough showing here that I can use this for my triangles. So when we talk about those one fabric wonder quilts with all of the hexagons that people do, and then they color wash all of the kaleidoscope box they get together, that's what I'm going to do with this one. But I can do it all from this print, fussy cutting down the fans and the background. Now, if I didn't want to have that as my background, then the green fans I've just popped under. I didn't put the key search word in, sorry. Tag, I've got to put the tag on it. Search magic. The wonders of technology when it works. All right, so there we go. So I can have the red in between, or you can have the green fans in between. They'll be under Emma in a second when the website updates. But you've also got the black version. Now with the black version, these are all the same colours as the red. And so what would happen is I would still get all of these coming up the same. I mean, I might get a little bit of red showing on some, I'm not sure. I might get a little bit of the red showing through. But if I run the black one, I would get these same colour blocks, but I would have a black background underneath. And if I was to come through and cut these, then I would have them on black. But I could also pop these fussy cut in my triangles. So there's just lots and lots of different options for you. I've popped the blue one on Spesh as well, and the purple one. And if you want help choosing any coordinate fabrics to go with those, then just let me know. Probably the cream fans would be gorgeous with the purple one, but just let me know and we will sort something out for you. So I've popped those on. Oh, sorry. And then the other thing, I'll just leave these there, and I want to give you a close-up on them. The other thing is I've tagged both of these, and these are the Lewis and Irene Year of Dragon. So if you liked the idea of doing some of your blocks fussy cut, now I've lost the pattern cover. If you wanted to do some of your blocks fussy cut with your free pattern, like these, you would do these from your fans, and then you could leave these blocks as just a print in between. So if we have a look at these, for example, so I'm going to sit the fans there like that. You could have a merging block in between with Year of the Dragon, or you could run a contrast like that. Oh-ha! So you can see I'm just patting my friends. So that would give you that effect. And if I just grab the block to give you an idea of what they would look like. next to each other. Very, very imperial, very imperial. And then we'll go the other way. Like that. I think I like the red. Let's go the other way. So that there. No, the black. Too much to choose from, maybe. Not sure. So anyway, this is what I would do with this one. And in a way, they're going to look, they are, we can see, they look so different to Melly Moo on the wall. But so much fun. Really good fun. When I just said before about I'm not sure if I'd end up with some of the background, I think I will, because I really want to use these dragonflies in, so I'll have that darker red in there. But also I want to do one that's just got, or do a few of them that's just got the handle off the fans. This is what frustrates us, is that the pattern's upside down as it comes off the bolt. So if you have a look at some of the handles I designed, actually I'll give you a close-up. I'm jumping around on camera, so you're getting travel sick? Sorry, motion sickness. So maybe not so much that one, but see this one here with the tassel. So you can imagine that coming out in the 5 spikes. And where is this one? So you've got the cherry blossom handle here that would look really cute coming out of the spikes as well. So there's a different one over here again. So there's lots to work with. So to meet the requirements of exhibiting at the Melba exhibition, Melba has to feature predominantly in the quilt. So if I was to use this and did maybe the quilt without this as the border, but used Melba fans. So if I did this, okay, it's got a predominant, I'm making sure I follow my own rules. So to be predominant for the exhibition, if I used these, even though they're not Melba, I would use fans for all of these. I would use the cream floral in here, or the fans. I'd use the cream fans fussy cut for these and put flowers over the top with Melba or this, and then I do all of this in the cream floral from Melba and then the fans on the outside and stop here. Then I think that meets my own criteria for the exhibition. Maybe. That's really funny because I've already got another oriental one designed with Melba fabric going in, so that's really funny. And yes, I will fill out my own exhibitor forms. Emma used to make me do it when we used to do them. All right, I've got one more giveaway for you if you spend $25 or more. One more, because I said there were 2 and there are. So people have always asked, well, no, people have asked me always, what's the best thread to buy that covers all your colours? And of course, the classic answers are grey, taupe. But more and more recently, probably because of the fabrics we've been working with and the new fabrics coming through, Jason's included with a lot of his colours, I'm finding more and more there is one colour that I use a lot. And so I decided that I would get that in as our special. Good morning, Meg. I'm talking Wednesday night. We are also talking bag workshops coming up here at Chandler's Cottage. And I went like that because one of them's with Megan from Onions coming down. She's going to teach. And I've got the sample. Wednesday night, we're talking bag workshops. I digress. Those of you will recognize this color because the first time I bought it and really got to know it and use it was with the Bird of Paradise cushion from last year's calendar, and I might pop that on the stand to show you on Wednesday night. But it is this beautiful, soft, grey moss green, and this colour to me is fantastic, and we always struggle, and we don't have any at the moment, to find that green in a fabric, so that when we go looking for fabrics, there may be one coming through in Maywood. Our Maywood's about a week off, over 100 colours coming in. Oh, so there may be one in there. I have to check. But grey green's so hard. Quiltgate in the olden days used to always have a lovely little coordinate that would have it in. But $25 or more, I'm going to give you one of these. I ordered lots. This is it. I'll give you a little close up. In fact, have I got one open here? Let me just look. No, it's inside. I took it inside. I'm trying to stop myself from just willy-nilly opening multiple spools of the same colour. I'm going to be good. I'm not going to pull the whole sleeve off, because if you try and do that, you can upset the whole setup of the thread on the spool. Trust me not to follow the instructions on how to, there it is. Come on, come on, off you come. There we go. This is colour 700, and it is a joy. So you can see it's that beautiful mossy grey green, and it goes with everything. It goes with greys, it goes with greens. I use it with creams, taupes, browns, and it's just beautiful. And aside from having grey, black and white and ivory in your kit, this to me is a fantastic colour, and this will be, one of these will be going in your pack if you've spent 25 or more before $7.59 on Wednesday night. Now I'm going to pop this little special, sorry, I'm not popping this special in a newsletter or anything. It's just for our Facebook friends. But you might want to tell your friends, if someone's with you at Quilting Group tomorrow and they go, I must order from Leesa, right. Say, do it now and do it before Wednesday night so they get a freebie. So this is one of yours. And I wanted to do this too, because if you haven't taken the plunge to try confetti yet from Wonderfeel, I would really love you to try it, because it's a nice thread for both machine piecing and quilting and hand piecing and hand applique as well, if you want to. So that will be yours. That's it. Have I missed anything? Did I miss anyone? My phone is not staying on Facebook this morning. Are they there now? They should be there now. Oh, do you want me to go and check? Give me a second. Sorry, I'm reading what everyone's saying, and they're active and they're there, so they should be there now. Jill says they're there, so that's all right. Someone's bought some since I put it up. What are you all doing? They're there. Yes, they are there. Okay, so I need to check something else. Did you know there are naughty things that happen sometimes? No, that's all right. I've done that too. I have to make sure they're available in the UK. That happens sometimes. There's been a couple of things. What don't we sell to the UK? Crushed walnuts. No, the red fans may not be on the website, Carol, but I will check that for you in a minute. Please repeat the amounts for the quilt. Sure thing, Jill. If you want to make the exact one that is on the pattern, you will need 5 meters of your favorite fan fabric to do it. If you just want to do the topper without that big outer border, then you need 3 meters of this one and 3 meters of this one. If you want to alternate a fussy cut one with a plain one, your plain ones, as per in here, you will need 4.5 meters, because it's a big quilt. And if you're going to be doing these, grab a meter, whatever you decide to use, grab a meter.
So I would grab the shimmer that's under there today in that lovely soft mint green. I'd grab a metre of that, or a metre of green fans, and it would be green fans, a metre, because you're going to have just that little bit of fussy cutting to make sure your fans all sit in the same spot so it looks right. Yes, and the number for the fans, if you want to look, is just 0005. If you put 0005 into the search window, it will bring up all those that are available at the moment. So I hope I've covered that. Thank you, Chris. We revisit these things, don't we? And that would actually look, maybe I'll put that on the bed for Priscilla when she's here. Oh, Sue, yes, you go to trybooking.com. So if you want to come to the escape, trybooking.com. So TryBooking is a big booking website that we run it through. And if you put the Creative Escape into the search there where it says search events, it will bring it up for you, and it's in there. If you have any problems, just email me at info@chandlerscottage.com and I will send you the information straight away. All right, so that you've got it. But we're really, really looking forward to it. Thank you, Jill. Gorgeous. Morning, Ange. And she said, just made it. You did just make it. All right, everyone, I'm going to take off now. There's a very enthusiastic, very talented junior member of our team. Brianna is about to arrive in the building. So I'm going to get her set up for the day. Open up the big doors at the front so there's plenty of light streaming in because it looks like a gorgeous day. And then Rob and I are planting a new hedge. Maybe I'll put it up under Leesa Chandler Designs on Facebook and Insta for you. But we're planting a new border hedge on the far side of the back garden, on the other side of the oval bed at the moment. And because it's rained, we can move roses. Woo! So we're going to move the roses out of the way today into the main rose bed in the front garden and get those planted. So there's lots to do at Chandler's Cottage. But don't forget, you can visit us on Thursdays and Fridays from 10 till 3. And if you'd like to come for morning tea, then there are some dates available coming up. Or if you're not sure, you can email me and we can sort something out for you to come and visit. And I'll put the oven on and bake some scones and some yummy stuff. So just let me know. I hope you all have a fantastic Sunday. And we're getting to the gushy stuff now. I hope you all have a fantastic Sunday and a great week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night, which will be our last show for daylight saving. So then all our friends in Queensland particularly and WA will be able to join us at a more reasonable time in the morning. All right. You all have a great week, won't you? And I'll see you soon. Bye.